For the public lecture review 1, we were tasked with selecting a lecture that interests us. The lecture that I selected was called Professor Debate on the Topic, Do We Live in a Simulation? This video included 6 professors taking different stances on whether or not we live in a simulation. They were able to take a stance of yes we do, no we do not, or other. Additionally, this video is interesting because each of the professors has a different field that they study, so to see all of their input with regards to their study was very interesting to me. Some of the ideas that the yes stance supported said that the world has more happening that is not directed towards us. Additionally, the neuroscience teacher said that there is a delay to us processing the environment, so that could potentially be a simulation that is just processing the information from the world around us. One last stance was that the belief systems of someone affects their behavior fully. Some stances that reflected the no side of the argument were that there are no ways to actually test whether or not we are in a simulation. Additionally, through the use of the definition that a simulation is a computable reality, one of the professors argued that it takes way too much time and effort for us to actually be living in a simulation. Another argument was that the neurons in our brain fire way faster than any sort of technological advancement that we have been able to come up with to date. This just further emphasizes the fact that it would be very unlikely for a simulation to be that advanced as to outdo the neurons firing in our brain. Additionally, one argument was that there is no way to test if one entity is actually causing what is happening in our everyday lives. Not just that our life is being processed, but that it is the cause of another entity. And because there is no definite definition of neural networks and consciousness, a lot of the professors that took the stance of other argued that it was too impossible to tell whether or not we are living in a simulation until we have more concrete definitions of how we appear to be conscious and how our neurons and our neural networks are working. This video debating whether or not we are in a simulation was important to me because of the professor that spoke within it. One of the professors is Mary Holder, and she is the head of the neuroscience department and has been my professor in multiple classes. This means that our entire discussion directly related to my major, as she tied in a lot of information about how neuroscience could affect our beliefs on whether or not we are in a simulation. Additionally, this video interests me the most because this is a question that I've also wondered myself. And the part of the debate talking about the speed that neurons fire and neural network speed most interests me because I've done other research on that topic in previous classes. Additionally, I also enjoyed the fact that it talked a lot about consciousness because I was wondering on how I should define consciousness for myself. The last reason that I thought this video would benefit me was because I thought it was interesting to see how professors from different fields approach the same topic. Some of the new information that I learned from this video was how delayed our recognition of our environment was and the complexity of our neural networks. I also did not realize how quickly neurons processed information compared to the most advanced technologies that we have been able to come up with. This lecture also opened my eyes to how difficult it is to create a simulation and how unlikely it would be to create a simulation in which all of us are a part of. After this lecture, I looked into virtual reality and how they are able to replicate our perception. Upon research, I realized that virtual reality just tries to duplicate your perception and duplicate the senses that you would be feeling in a multitude of environments. They utilize stereopsis and try to create images in both eyes that, when overlaid because of our binocular vision, would combine to look like reality. Another thing that I looked into was vestibular sense, which is the way in which your brain knows where you are in space. This is why the headset for virtual reality is attached to your head, as the vestibular sense also adjusts to movements in the head.